they're not going up to a woman? Like, what's holding them back from that?
Because of feminism and Me Too and all that shit. And because women will put men on blast who like maybe awkwardly approach them. You see also those gym TikTok videos where girls like work out in the gym and then there's like a guy who like glances at them for like 1 second and they fucking blast them. That's what guys are scared of. And these guys they're not even doing anything wrong. They're just like innocently, sometimes they're not even looking in their direction. So there's like this social component now where like people are terrified to get like being exposed on social media. So
I think I owe the men of the world an apology. Let me explain before you come in my comments. I always think to myself, why don't men just approach women? Why? It's not that hard. Just say hi. Just say hi. Your hair is pretty. It's not that hard, right? Well, last night I learned it is hard, okay? And let me tell you what happened. So I'm just sitting at the bar with my buddies, just having a fun time, and in walks some men who were attractive. One in particular, I was like, wow, he's very handsome. So I'm chatting with my friends who are all male in this conversation. I'm like, what do I do? Because I don't really approach men ever, but I also don't ever get approached. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, how bad could it be? So they suggest I send him a drink. And I'm like, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. That's so smart. So I send him his drink of choice, which was a Corona with lime. Whatever, should have known. Anyway, so some time goes by and he has not acknowledged that I've sent this drink. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go over there. I walk up and I say, hey, how's your beer? You know, I like bat my eyelashes, you know, and he looks at me and he goes, oh, you sent this? Yeah, I did. It was me. And then he said nothing. 0 words exchanged. And you know that gif of Britney Spears where she's like holding her purse and she's just standing there looking around like this? That was me in real life. And we just stared at each other. And I said, okay, enjoy your night. And then I had to turn around and march my way back to my little bar stool, just wrapped in rejection. And now I have to think about that for the rest of my life. So, gentlemen, I'm sorry. That sucked.
Men are done. The femi dating game backfired. Now women are confused, angry, and posting their meltdowns online. Watch them panic. Watch them admit the truth. Then watch them blame everyone but themselves.
What are modern women more upset about? Men being stingy with their money, not wanting to pay for dates, paying her bills, or that men don't want to marry the woman that he sleeps with. Biblically, that's his wife, right? I don't think the women are upset that men don't want to get married like they used to. It's that they can't get men to want to give them their money. Because they could keep the marriage as long as they get the money. But am I wrong? What do you guys think?
Calling men broke doesn't change preferences. Men with options are more selective, not less. It's not about challenge. It's about cost and responsibility.
Not encourage any man to try to be in a relationship with a woman to where he's not solidified on his own first. It was no reason why the young man that I was dealing with at the time should have moved out on his own with a woman where he did not have certain things in alignment and in order, right? You need to have your finances together as a man. You need to have your foundation set for yourself as a man. You need to be building upon your purpose as a man. Like, you need to focus on you first. This is why I'm a strong advocate for men putting themselves first, because when you put yourself first as a man, everything else is going to follow suit. Had that young man put himself first and say, you know what? Let me go ahead, let me establish this, and then I can, have a strong foundation to build upon, with anybody else. But
This is the first grounded take. Build yourself first, then decide what you want. That's why more men are stepping back and choosing carefully.
I understand why a lot of guys want to quit. They say it's not worth it anymore. They say they'd rather just give up. Because sure, the current terms and conditions of modern dating are bizarre, to say the least. They suck. They definitely do. But if you ever want to make a change, you got to get really good at the game you're playing. You can't give up. You can't sit out. That's not the way it works. You got to rise to the top of the game. And once you're at the top, you can make changes. You can choose to sit it out, but I think you should try to compete at a high level. I think that's always the best way to go. But yeah, I understand why a lot of guys want to sit it out. You know, it shouldn't have to be that way. When you're young and you're 18 years old and you just want to have a girl to love, get married, start a family with, you know, live in your small apartment while you're both working, grinding it out, you and her, broke as a joke, madly in love, you get married, she gets pregnant, you bust your ass, you get a promotion, you buy a house, the American dream. That's what people want, but that's not the current landscape for most people. You know, a good 90% of people aren't following that blueprint. So it's hard work, it's tough. It's not something that you can have a warm feeling about. You know, it doesn't give you a wholesome, good feeling. The modern dating game, it's corrupt, it's evil, too many games.
He's right about one thing. The game changed, but competing doesn't mean accepting everything. Smart men adapt by raising standards, not lowering them. You don't quit, but you don't play blind either.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women, that it's better to be single, guys. They're almost like happy about the fact that they're gonna make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
Men avoiding women isn't always inner war. Sometimes it's pattern recognition. If outcomes are bad, men adjust. That's not emotional damage. That's learning.
That is why women are single.
Why do you keep talking to money when you talk tradition?
Because I'm telling you that's how I am as a woman. So if I'm with a man, like, I'd rather be at home with the children, taking care of the home.
Can you give me another
while
example?
you're outside.
Okay. Can you give me another example of tradition that is not based around finance?
That's tradition. The woman role and the man role. The man is the provider. The woman is the
But it's not always
the one that cares for the home.
But it's not always based around finance. There's some traditional things.
I'm taking care of the children. I'm taking care of the house. That has nothing to do with finance.
So you don't believe that in today's world that you can maintain doing both?
I think that's unfair to the woman
You're
because
already doing it.
Correct. But if I have a man in my life,
So that absolves you of everything
and
you've been
that is
doing?
why women are single,
Wait.
because it's like they rather do it by themselves, just like a man rather do it by himself.
The message that you're putting out there is that this is tradition. This is how it should go. And no, how it should go is me and you come together as two independent people
Correct.
and we figure out how to make this house work.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who would say, hey, you know what? You want to be a Fortune 500.
That is still more tradition. Like, that is a more traditional. If you go back, that's how it was. Women didn't have rights. Women couldn't work. Women couldn't do
But
shit.
you got 'em
Just
today.
Stay home.
No, but
That's what I mean when I say tradition, guys. Like, I mean, like, I'm talking about old age. I would have been better off in the old days, guys. Like, for real. Like, I would have been better off in the old days because I would have been a great mom at home, cooking, cleaning, and that's it. I would have been
Ooh.
good. Like, I would have been good, for
She
real.
threw me off.
That
Like,
gives you-
I'm being honest. Like, I'm not for this time. Like,
Where's my camera again? Where's this one? This one. Fellas, like the fellas need to hear this. Fellas, I want you to know, and this is me. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. I want you to know. There are women out there that want to build with you, not build with tradition. I'm not speaking against her because what is good for her, what's good for you works for you. I want you to know that. I'm telling you, my brothers, who are now growing in this era where that is becoming a thing. And it sounds, what she's saying is, I don't think she's saying that she would not fall in love with the person, but the message could come across as that. I want you to know that there are women out there that will not put that standard on you and will actually take the time to get to know you and grow with you. And that has been my issue in trying to date. And having to decipher between the women who want that, who also want to take the time to get to know me before they even decide if they want to actually be with me.
This is confusion in real time. Traditional roles without modern trade-offs don't work. You can't pick parts of the system and ignore the rest. Men see that mismatch and opt out.
Hi, I'm in a shitty mood because I'm a 30-year-old trying to date and it's just painful. Did you eat something? Fucker. I'm feeling rather annoyed right now, and whenever I feel annoyed, I feel like I need to pop off on something, and that something is usually TikTok. So I feel like when it comes to dating, I've been very chill and calm when it comes to my old set of standards that I held for myself. I'm like, okay, I need what the fuck? I need really high standards. I have high standards, and I do. But I feel like with dating, like I've kind of like realized to calm down a little bit in certain areas where I've been so high and mighty and tight with like certain things that you need to have. And I've like been relaxed on that, and I'm still just like not seeing or like feeling how I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling. And it's just like kind of upsetting because I'm like, okay, not that I'm lowering my standards. I just feel like I'm like opening up a little bit more and like growing up, realizing that maybe certain things that I used to think were like negatives are actually positives. And I don't know how to navigate it. I'm in this weird limbo of like trying to grow, trying to learn. And you know when you make excuses for someone in your head and then you kind of calm yourself down and then you're like, do I need to be making those excuses? I'm just feeling defeated because it's really hard to like start over time and time again. And again, you know, when open yourself emotionally up to dating, I don't know.
She lowered standards and still isn't satisfied. That's the problem. It's not just standards, it's expectations versus reality. Dating feels harder when what you want doesn't match what you can attract.
I don't care what anyone says, and we can argue in the comments, but dating right now in 2024 is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I could probably pass the bar exam right now, and it'll be easier than dating. And I'm so serious. Now, I'm not saying that everything in life has to be easy because it shouldn't, right? That's life. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be tough, but it shouldn't be this hard. Dating shouldn't be this hard. It just shouldn't be. And the fact that majority of us single people are all experiencing this hardship leads me to believe that something isn't right. There's something, it's just something that's off. I don't know what it is, but it shouldn't be this hard. And the fact that it is this hard and other people are complaining about it and struggling with it leads me to believe it can't be us. It has to be the thing. So the dating needs to change. Something about the dating has to change because it just can't be it. I can't keep living like this. And I don't want to quit. But ooh, I'm so close. I'm this close to giving up. Like, do y'all see? That's how close I am to giving up. I'm finna throw the towel in for real.
Everyone says dating is broken, but no one looks at behavior. When both sides keep the same habits, nothing changes. Men are changing. That's why this reaction is happening.
Woo! Some of y'all women gonna get mad at me today, so if you can't take constructive criticism, baby, keep on scrolling. Many of you women are not really what you think you're cracked up to be. Like, some of y'all are really not great people to be in relationships with. Y'all know I work with couples every single day, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a list of everything that I have to work through. First things first, quit coming into relationships trying to make a man secure your insecurities. That's your job. If you lack confidence, if you have low self-esteem, if there's still trauma that you're operating in, if you're self-critical, if you're judgmental when it comes to yourself, if you blame yourself, if you're still operating in guilt and trauma and everything else, baby, that's for you to handle, not him. Respect his space. Like, stop becoming so preoccupied and hyper aware of what a man has going on. As soon as you see his mood is off a little bit, you start becoming overwhelming. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Let me tell you how men are. A lot of men, when they are going through stuff, they may end up withdrawing or retreating because they're trying to figure it out. They're not always upset at you. Their moods are not changing just because of you. People go through things in a way that men are. They don't express themselves as much as we do as women. It's okay. Give that man some space. Oh yeah, the clinginess. Clinginess is cute to an extent, baby, but once you become codependent and you're always getting jealous whenever this person goes out and you become anxious whenever they're not around you, you start blowing up their phones when they gonna hang out with their friends, that is problematic and you're gonna push them away. As much as many of you all don't want to believe it, it's absolutely okay for a man to admire another woman. As long as it is a quick look, boom, and he's not staring and he doesn't have a wandering eye and he's not impulsive and he's not a cheater. If he's all of those, baby, why are you with him in the first place? You're ignoring the red flags. You're settling. As long as that man is not window shopping or ordering off of the menu, relax. He has a visual appetite. If he sees a beautiful woman, it's okay to admire. Just like if you see a handsome man, you're gonna admire him too. Relax. Stop letting yourself go. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you need to stop doing everything that you did in the beginning. If you always kept your skin together, your nails together, your lashes together, your hair done, your body was waxed up at the beginning, keep that same energy. Hold your end of the relationship. Remember, visual. A man still has a visual appetite and he loves what he sees, baby, because you're going to stimulate a whole lot more in him. Don't let yourself go because you secured the relationship. As much as you want to believe it, you're not always right. As much as you want to always be in control, you have to let some things go, baby. You cannot love a man the way you want to love him.
This is rare honesty, accountability, insecurity, clinginess, lack of discipline. All of that pushes men away. When women fix those things, results change. Most don't want to hear that.
So I was at the gym not that long ago, and I was on the cardio equipment. I overlooked an interaction between a man and a woman who I would assume are in a relationship or married. They were probably in their late 20s, younger couple. And the dude was asking the girl who was on the treadmill how much longer she had, when she's going to be out of the gym. And she just dismissively kind of shooed him away like a fly, rolled her eyes at him, made a rude kind of facial expression, shutting him down. And he just walked away with his head down. He walked away and head down, shoulders shrugged forward. And then when she finally was done and ready to leave, he was sitting there like waiting on the bench, waiting for her. I saw them walking out of the gym, and the girl was in front of him, chest pumped, chin up, and he was walking behind her like 10 feet away with his head down and his shoulders down. And I got to thinking this, not only are men losing their focus on their mission and purpose when getting in relationships, but men are losing their masculinity. I see a lot of men who are losing focus on what it means to be a man. They're playing these kind of toxic games. And it's so bad to the point where I even remember there were some friends of mine when I was younger out of high school who were literally saying that their goal in life was to be a stay-at-home father, was to have the woman be the provider, was to be the submissive one in the relationship. They were saying like that's totally normal, like that's acceptable. No understanding of male leadership, no understanding of masculine frame, no understanding of relationship dynamics, no understanding of how to be a man. And it's like, why would you want to be in a relationship versus, which again, this thing people seem to misunderstand. Being single and being alone is not the same as being lonely. Those are two completely different things. But my point being is, why would you want to be in a relationship and play these kind of court jester games, make a fool of yourself, versus being single and not being desperate, perhaps waiting to see if you can get lucky enough to find a good woman. And I remember I used to see all these videos come out the woodwork like 5 to 10 years ago. I used to see all these videos of men, talking about, I'm 30 years old and I've never had a girlfriend. They were like ashamed of it, 25-year-old virgin, whatever, never kissed a girl, whatever kind of stuff you want to see. And guys, if you notice lately, you don't see those videos coming out of the woodwork as much as they used to, because I think people are starting to realize just how toxic the dating market really is. They're starting to realize they're not missing out. The grass is not greener. And again, talking about the whole loneliness thing, people seem to not understand. They think getting in a relationship is going to fix their problems. If you're in a relationship with a toxic woman, they are going to isolate you from your friends, from your good friends, and from your family, people that you should have in your life. And once that relationship ends, which eventually it will end, and it'll probably end in an ugly way the longer it goes on, then they'll realize what real loneliness is. Then they'll realize that they didn't have any self-respect. They'll develop a disdain towards people. People seem to not understand that. Being alone, being single, and being lonely are not the same thing. And to people saying, because I see this a lot too, is people talking about how women just want chads, women just want these top tier, top echelon guys, whatever it might be. Understand something. It's not just the average men who feel this way or are dealing with this kind of stuff in the dating market. I had a friend of mine, and I've had friends of mine put up with this kind of stuff, but I had a friend of mine in particular who was 6'4", went to the gym, and was on his way to finish law school. So again, top tier guy, and he was 23 years old at the time. And he was dating this girl who just disrespected him, disrespected the relationship. And you think, this is a guy who's 6'4". This is a guy who's getting everything figured out, going to be able to support a family, going to be financially independent, and she thought she could do better. I mean, you even see it, even many celebrities I've seen. Tom Brady's wife, you see plenty of celebrities that have the looks, have the status, have the money, and they're still dealing with these kind of toxic relationships in the dating market. This whole grass is greener mentality. And I've even seen women get with guys, it's not even just guys that are better in terms of the looks, whatever you want to call it. And again, that's why I don't agree with a lot of this kind of Chad stuff that's pushed. Because I've seen women get with guys that are lesser in the looks department, lesser in the morality department, financial department, whatever you want to call it, just because it's convenient at the time, just because it serves them a purpose. So again, guys, it's bad enough a lot of men lose focus on their mission and purpose with relationships. What's even worse is men losing their masculinity. And I don't think it's that men lose it in the relationship. I think these are men that probably didn't even have much of an understanding of masculinity to begin with. Because I've seen this too, where a lot of women wanting to get with men that they can control, wanting to get with men that are easy to kind of manipulate, not men that have self-respect. And again, I've even had women that agree with me on this, that are against this kind of stuff. And they've literally said straight up, like, women that are like this in a relationship, they're going to end up, number one, miserable down the line. They're going to end up lonely down the line, most likely. They're going to be bitter, because I've seen that time and time again. Like, even growing up, I had friends of mine who grew up in single-parent households with a mother, and a lot of those women raising their sons to dislike their fathers, to really just hate masculinity in general. Again, that's why you see that kind of behavior. Combine that with the schools of a lot of the overwhelming faculty being teachers being women, who are also promoting this kind of stuff. But I've seen these women just get to the point where they're 60 and they're just miserable. Then they want to pass that trauma onto their sons. And then whenever, or if their son wants to make some kind of connection with their father, they're totally against it.
That gym scene says everything. Man chasing, woman leading, zero respect. When a man loses his frame, attraction disappears. Men who watch this either wake up or repeat the same mistake. 10 women, 10 different complaints. One common thread, they're all reacting to men walking away. Some admit the truth. Some blame the system. Some blame men. Some blame the thing. None of them blame their own choices. Men said no. Women lost it. The video evidence is right here. Stay focused. Stay single. Stay winning. The Legion understands. Move out. This is Male Legion, where reality hits harder than a talk breakup. Cheers.